Hello, this is High Templar with a new video series about Bethesda games modding. Let's say you have a new mod like Beyond Skyrim and you want to play the game and you want to change a game a bit because you played it 337 hours. You kind of know the stuff. You want to change a bit how it looks, you want to change a bit how it works. And you need some guide, where you can play either Special Edition or normal Skyrim. For the Skyrim, you will need to do some things more. Firstly, right now there is more mods available for normal Skyrim edition because of SKSE, which now doesn't really work well with 64-bit version for the second edition, but on the other hand, Skyrim doesn't handle memory that well. So, first thing that if we want to play modded Skyrim is to run Skyrim and make sure it's working. Right. This is unmodded Skyrim, I'm just running it from the Steam and it should be working. If it's not working for you, then you do not have a clear version. You do need to have a clean version for this tutorial. You can either uninstall it, delete everything from your Skyrim folder in Steam apps and then load it again to make it work. Or you can clear it. So there is special videos and on the step wiki you will find a way to clear your Skyrim to the clear version. I won't show that to you. I will assume you have deleted everything, downloaded a new version, and this is bare bones Skyrim. Well, you just never modded Skyrim, maybe, and you do have vanilla Skyrim. Anyway, Skyrim doesn't look so bad. As you can see, the leathery textures on this armor are looking quite well. Wood here, not so much, but the trees looks fine, and the fog and little bits of wood in the air. People doesn't look well because it's Bethesda.
Hey, you're finally awake.
This game will work properly if you install it, and this is a good way to test it because if there is something wrong, it will most likely pop up here. If there is some missing textures, if the game will not load completely. If the game will not load completely, that usually means there is something wrong with the load order, and I will explain it in a moment. But let's start slow. So we have tested Skyrim, it's working properly. Now let's start modding. The first thing that you need to get is a mod that will get you, that will fix your memory patches. It's not really necessary and it's not possible for now for the special edition, but will also fix some memory problems. It will also enable the other mods that are heavily using scripting to work for your Skyrim. So, I never remember the page, I just go SKSE, and it will first is pretty much always the one that you need to go. And I'm just going to download installer. You can Steam installer, 7-zip, whatever, works fine. I'm just used to this installer, so I'm going to use it. What? I'm just going to run it. As you can see, I already downloaded the other one, but yeah, I do already have one in downloads. That means I have at some point downloaded this version of SKSE. Now I have downloaded SKSE, and it will show if you go to your program files, Steam Apps, Common and Skyrim, it will show lots of SKSE files. Also, if you go into data and scripts, it will show a lot of files. So this is basically your SKSE working, but this is not everything there is. what you need to do is create new folder, which would be named SKSE. Sorry. Like that. And inside, what we will do, or could be lowercase, doesn't really matter on Windows, we will create a new file, and this will be text file called SKSE init. Right? And we will edit it. Now, what will we put inside? Well, I don't remember that as well, but we have Google. So, if I go to StepWiki and say, first thing that will pop up is Skyrim extender for wiki, and this is, as you can see, this is what should be in SKSE ini. So I'm just copying it and putting in this very file. Save. Now I have shortcut for this SKSE on my desktop, but I can just directly run it from my Skyrim. And this is right now, every time you will load, you will not load from Steam. You will load from SKSE loader. You can also make loader to work from Steam. There is a separate tutorial to do that. I'm sure you will find few on the net. I'm just going to run the game right now and see if it's working. And it should be working. Even if it breaks, well, we have a problem. And as you can see, it is working. So starting game once more. We will be doing that a lot. But we have to make sure it is working properly. And so far it doesn't sound like it's broken. It will, if the game is broken, if there is some problems with the start of the game, the card will start behaving very, very badly. There is also mods that are designed to break the start of the game, like Helgen Reborn, which will make Helgen different. It will look different. You will not be able to get inside, which means you will not be able to get with this card all the way inside Helgen, and you will not be able to start the game. You will need to start another live mod for this one. But we will not go into that right now, sorry. We'll just go back to desktop. Okay, so we are running now Skyrim from SKSE. It's working perfectly. I didn't want it to go here. What else? Well, we do need another utility that will be very, very useful, and it's called loot. So, loot you can download from a GitHub. It's always the first link, so don't worry about that. I'm downloading the loop. You can get through installer, source code, 7-zip, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Loot is a very interesting tool. It will allow you to sort your plugins, and it will show you where there are problems. Now, loot is not always right, but loot will fix more things that it will break. You have to be very advanced modder to say to loot, you're wrong, I know it, I know better. Loot is very useful. It will show you if you don't have a mod that is required. It will show you if the mod is in incorrect order. Maybe you need some mod first, some mod later. It's all covered in loot. It's very, very useful tool, and it's updated recently. As you can see, the last version was released only on 13 May. So I will install the loot. We'll be using English. I will be, however, installing it in tools because I don't want to have clutter. I don't need shortcut. So, yeah, I will launch loot just to show you how it works. So, yeah, this is loot. It will show you all the plugins that I have and the load order. you can see it here. So you can basically change the order and it will show you all the problems. Now, obviously, right now we don't have problems with the game. This is actually manipulating some files that you can find in a game, like here. In your user update a local Skyrim, you will find a load order file which will contain pretty much the same things and the plugins, right? So, pretty much the same thing, but the loot will sort the stuff for you. I'm just saying, if you want to mess with it, be careful. And you have automatic sorting and updating the list tools here. We will not need it for now. We can close. Another very, very useful tool that I'm using, you don't have to use it, but I find it useful, is Skyrim Mod Combiner. It's somewhere on the Nexus, but you know, I have Google. I will show you how to use Skyrim Mod Combiner. So you go to the page, it's always the first link. This is Nexus, right? You should be loaded into the Nexus and you should go into the files and download, right? Now it shows you download with Manager. So this is another thing that you need to have, quite obviously. There is two different choice of the managers. You can either go with Skyrim, with Nexus Mod Manager, which is here, or you can go with Mod Organizer. There is many manuals to allow you to work with both. Mod Organizer have slightly more options, but I'm used to Nexus Mod Manager, so I will just download it. Or from here. Come on, download. Yeah. So I'm downloading Nexus Mod Manager. And those two tools will work separately. And yeah, I will agree to this and I will same as before, install it here. Right. And when you launch your mod manager, Nexus will actually found your Skyrim, and you can click like that and stop search. We have already found Skyrim, so I can go OK, and it will start the game on Skyrim. For the mod organizer, you have to download mod organizer per game, which is slightly different. What I am going to do is I will not choose mod directory info in my C drive, because there is no point in storing gigabytes of data on my SSD. I will be actually using different drive. It will work, it will start a bit slower, but we don't care. So games, mod manager, and I have Skyrim directory for this one. And as well, I will go into, this is already something I've created before, Nexus Mod Manager, Skyrim, and install info. Right? For the virtual install, you need to pick one that is on the same drive that Skyrim works, on your SSD if you have one, because this is virtual inside the directory. This is where the files will be stored and they will be used by a game. This is a very cool tool that will allow you to switch between profiles if you have multiple different mods and you want to use different let's plays for different characters, for example. Okay, so I have this. This is how bare bone Nexus Mod Manager looks like. However, that was actually not something I wanted to do. I wanted to get Skyrim Mod Manager, and I will download it manually. Why? Because this is a 7-zip file, and this is actually a utility that you need to extract and run in separate space, really. So I actually already have it downloaded, so I can show you how it looks. If you download and unpack it, this is how it works. This is how it looks, pretty much like that. And what I'm going to do is I will run as a SMC launcher, and it will show you the beauty of this mod is that you can get a lot of different texture mods, a lot of different mods that will make your Skyrim look more beautiful, and it will pack it into simple package. But also, it is also showing you these mods and showing how they look. So, Skyrim Mod Combiner, as you can see, this is basically a menu of the mods that you can merge. And they will be automatically merged into the single mod, and this is something I like to do. Well, this is something I like to do for the first part, so making my Skyrim looks better. Okay, so we actually got to the part when we will be doing the modding, right? Well, we already have Nexus Mod Manager, and we have Skyrim Mod Combiner. Now the next thing that you need to decide on is which of the basic texture packs you will be using. There is Skyrim HD textures, your built-in expansion for those, but you also have Skyrim SHD, which is quite different. You have Tamriel Reloaded, which is absolutely another texture pack that looks absolutely different. And it doesn't actually, when the first two do look similar to original Skyrim, just better, but similar, the Tamriel Reloaded makes the look of the game quite different. There is Skyrim Realistic Overhaul, which is another. This is not really an overhaul, this is only graphical overhaul, so it also is a texture pack in essence that actually weighs like 10 gigabytes, so it's a lot. And there is one of my favorites, that's Noble Skyrim. So I just need to go to N and find Noble Skyrim. Now, beauty of this Skyrim Mod Combiner is that if I click it, I can proceed to mod download page, and it will get me to ModDB or Nexus page when I can download it. Alright? And there is one more mod that you need to install before other mods, basically. And this is an official patch. Alright? This is the first mod I will download through the Nexus Mod Manager. I am aware that I'm jumping from part to part, but I do want to make sure we have covered every base. Alright, so Skyrim Legendary, because this is the one I will be using. Unofficial patch. Whatever I mispronounce, it will be corrected by Google. I misspelled, Alright, so this is the one that we'll be using. I will be downloading this with Manager. Yes, continue with my download. So, I will open, well, I already have it opened, and it says that I'm not logged in, right? I can click here. Yeah, and it will spawn another window here. So I can log in into my game. So I will get back to you in a second. I will just fill in those. Alright, so I am in, and as you can see, this is a download that was paused because I couldn't load. Now it's starting to really download. This is a green icon that tells me that I indeed am logged in, and as you can see, it shows speed. Right? It will be there in a moment. I'm starting to download different things because we can download at least two different mods at the same time. Right. I also already downloaded to this to this very to the directories that are here. As you can see, I already have one of those, unofficial Skyrim patch, and I have as well Noble Skyrim in here. I just need to find it. Yeah, it's here. Models and textures, Noble Skyrim. So, I will not be actually installing it, whereas I will be installing the one that we are downloading now, the unofficial Skyrim. I will not be installing the Noble Skyrim. What I will be doing is I will be specifying the archive for this particular game, and we already know it's games Skyrim, and as you can see, we can now click it. It's there, right? We can also specify the same path for every other mod. However, we do not have any other mods, but once we will click on the download page, yeah, as you can see, all of them are red except for this guy, because this guy is actually downloaded, right? So, now it is time for us to pick what do we need to make this game look great. And there is few mods that will certainly make this game look amazing. And first is really a Median Book of Silence, which is making, if you click at it, we can go to download page. This is not where I wanted to go. So it's basically retexture, but not only retexture of armors, creatures, unique items, you name it. It's also pretty big, as you can see, right? So what are we going to do with this guy is download all of it. So yeah, again, sorry. I'm not sure why we are getting directed to this guy, because it's only some of the some of the armors. I just wanted to make sure that was not a mistake. But what we want to do here is to download those mods as before. So we will be getting armors. And as you can see, our previous mod is actually completed, so we can go to patches and install it, right? And now the activation queue, this is a download manager, this is activation queue, will show you how much of the mod is installed. It's installed, right? But at the same time, we are starting to download some of the Amedian's Book of Silence mods, and what we want to get is armors, creatures, Dragonborn, all of those. The other mods, I will download them in a moment. I will not show you downloading all of them. That would be kind of a loss of time. Is the one that is extremely important is mesh improvement. From the static mesh improvement mod, which I will find here shortly. Static mesh improvement mod is another one that is absolutely essential. So this one is improving meshes of many things, and some of the functionality is making some of the lids of the barrels open, but it's basically whenever you see a lamp, a post or a pillar or a tree stump in Skyrim, you could see that it's basically hexagon. So the difference is between this and this. As you can see, a lot more polygons, and also the ropes are way better, as you can see. So yeah, basically it makes those things look a lot better. And we will download this guy as well from the basic mods that we want. And there is a few more that we want for flora, but we will focus firstly on the landscape itself. And for example, the one I like is vivid landscapes. Vivid landscapes are going well with the other texture mods that we already have. It is really nice indeed. So I will go and download this one as well. Obviously I cannot download all of the mods at the same time, and I still haven't finished. We can close this one and this one. We need to download now Dragonborn DLC. All the Medianborn files need to be downloaded. The rest of the files, I can tell you what I'm using, and I will leave description below what I'm using, but basically it's up to you. You can look through those and decide if you like them or not. This is your standard Skyrim HD texture pack, but for example 2015 VIP is amazing, going up to ultra quality, and this stuff looks great as well. Whether you want to use it or not, it's up to you. You can go as far as to download the mods for a single skeleton or for the taproot, right? Or even I found somewhere a mod that is giving you some of the flowers in 8K. Like dragons, fine. Dragons I can understand. But there are some absolutely crazy mods that are retexturings only single flowers for this to work in 8K, which is, pretty crazy. Alright, so I will download now a few mods, and we will go back to actually combining the mods in a moment. Alright, so we have downloaded a lot of mods, and I do want to mention again Samidian Book of Silence, and I also got Caves and Mines, Height and Studded Height, because this is armor that we see a lot, and the Imperial armor because this is again seen a lot, so it will improve your let's play quite immensely. And this is birds and blended throats and brows and birds and hair. Obviously on every character their blended throats are much better. If you go to this mod, you can see what I mean. And enhanced blood textures because they are amazing. Forgotten retexture projects for all the small things that other people didn't. Retexture high definition Ivy. Ivy is something I like looking at, so it is a good thing for me. Lean Wolf, better shaped weapons because those weapons in Skyrim do not look realistically, and this mod will make them so. There will be much longer, or actually they will be thinner but longer. So without it they look like puddles. Noble Skyrim, realistic water 2 to make water look really amazing. Ragnarok for rags and clutter. Ruins clutter also not very bad. Rusty clothing because again you will see a lot of those clothes on every person you will meet. Rustic Forsworn, Stargazer, Sky and Moon. Flora overhaul for all the cool retextures of the plants. Skyrim Realistic Overhaul for, well, this is a huge texture pack that will make my game look a lot better, and it will work very nicely with the Noble Skyrim. Then Static Mesh Improvement, I already talked about this one. Stunning Statues and Superior Lore Friendly Hair. The Trees HD and Ultimate Effects and Verdant for this grass. Now the last one is Vivid Landscapes, and it's not working properly. You can see if this is what you have. This probably means that you have wrong version of the mod or something's wrong. If I go here, you will notice that, in files, that I got Vivid Landscapes 4K, and it needs also 2048 archive as well, and I did download it. 2048 archive, but it's still not working very well. There is nothing in the description that shows me what I did wrong. So you can go to the help and look at in the compatible mods, go down all the way to Vivid Landscapes, and you will see that it supports version 2.8 and only loose files version. So what I did wrong is I downloaded this one, and I should be downloading this one. If I will fix that, I will have everything to prepare the mod. I can close that help, get here, and I can begin combining if I would fix that problem. And then you have to just pick the directory. What I usually using is where in the SMC directory. And the SMC directory will look more or less like that. This is SMC output that I've chosen. Inside you will find a directory, maybe data, maybe some different stuff, but this is not really important because inside you will find meshes, scripts, and every ESP that you need to download. So what you need to do is pack this into zip7 file or anything and move it into your Nexus Mod Manager. And then what you need to do is restart the Nexus Mod Manager, and you will see that there is SMC, whatever you call the zip file mod that you can install. As you can see already, I actually created two. First one with some less mods, and the other one that I have showed you right now. We had all those mods in one mod. Just like that. And as you can see, SMC Mod, this is the one. I have already installed it. You would have to right click it and activate mod. And then just install it. And is it everything? Well, unfortunately not. There is one more thing that you need to do. You need to go to your machine documents, My Games Skyrim, and find Skyrim and Skyrim Preferences and Grass, because those files, the Verdant plugin that you have installed, do have some settings that needs to be set. Also, you can go straight from here to Verdant, load page, proceed to mode page. Oh, I don't have that option. Oh yeah, I know. Proceed to mode page. And if you go to the mod description, you will notice that there are some settings in Grass INI, or even here in the Skyrim INI and Skyrim Prefs INI, that you need to set for the game to be working. Well, distance is 9,000 is bit much, so I set it to 7,000. 7,000 is fine as well. And all the settings in the both Skyrim Prefs and Skyrim INIs I have made in Grass. It also tells you that if you want to have your glass to look better, you can go below 70, and for example performance go to 100, but 70 works fine. Okay, if I did all of that, what can I do? Well, I can run my Skyrim, and I have to go through the Skyrim to my SKSE. This is my shortcut. I'm running my shortcut to see if the game really works. And you think that this is the end of our modding, but this is just the beginning. We just got few texture mods that are SMC or Skyrim Mod Combiner compatible, but there is much more we need to do. We need to install A&B or lighting mod. We need to make our characters look better because now they still look pretty badly. We need to do some immersive mods that will make the game more realistic and more fun, or some fixes that will make people react well, better really. We can also install some fighting overhauls and similar stuff that will make our enemies to behave in different way. And you can already see that the textures here, like this soldier armor looks a lot better. Even the cards look better, although not great. The clothes of this guy looks like first class, and even the rocks look a lot more like rocks.
You're finally awake. You were trying to cross the border, right?
You must understand that You must understand that most fixes will actually look better with the textures from the close-up or in the screenshots. But there is much more we can do, and we will, and I will show you a comparison between how the games looks before this improvements and after, and then we will do some more modding in the next episode. So, see you later.
Why don't you swallow that stubborn pride of yours and ask Yorland Greymane for help?
I'd sooner bend my knee to Ulfric's Stormcloak. Besides, Greymane would never make steel for the Legion.
Stubborn pride of yours and ask Yorland Greymane for help.
I'd sooner bend my knee to Ulfric's Stormcloak. Besides, Greymane would never make steel for the Legion.
Have it your way. I'll take the job, but don't expect a miracle.